welcome back to my channel. So I decided today I would do a video about my HBCU experience. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, you want to chime in, you want to ask anything in regards to the school or anything that I experienced, please feel free to comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and always catch the beat. Most of you guys already know, I went to the Lincoln University of Pennsylvania. We are the first degree granting historically black college and university. So shout out to all my LU Lions out there. Make sure you guys comment below and show your orange and blue spirit. I chose Lincoln because, okay, so let me backtrack. So I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. When I was applying to schools, there wasn't really like a big push for HBCUs. There actually wasn't even really a big push for us to go out of state. We were really encouraged to apply to CUNY schools, and for you guys who don't know what a CUNY is, the City University of New York, or a SUNY school, which is a State University of New York. So we were really encouraged to apply to SUNYs and CUNYs during the time. So for me, I already had it in my mind that I wanted to go to Spelman, and that's really every girl's like dream. I wouldn't say every girl, but for me and most of my friends that I knew, all of our like big dreams were to go to Spelman. And growing up, it's a school that we've all like kind of idolized and really like looked up to. So the goal was to go to Spelman. In my quest of Spelman, I came across a lot of different HBCUs that I didn't really think about. So I started applying to other schools. Of course, I applied to CUNYs, I applied to SUNYs, I got into all of those. We were encouraged to pick 4 SUNYs to apply to. And then we were encouraged to also pick, I think it was 4 CUNYs, SUNYs, whatever. 4 of each school. So I applied to all of them, I got in. And the thing about it is like, those schools are still in New York, but they're still also very far. So I was just like, I don't want to go upstate. It's cold, it's snowy. I don't like it. I don't want to go. Even though I was able to receive like certain funding, I just didn't want to be in New York. And then for CUNY schools, a lot of the times, people who stay at home, they go and they get a lot of like federal grants to be able to go for free. Which was a good thing, I guess, to have that hope, but I did not want to stay home. I felt like if I stayed home, I would be really complacent. I didn't know if I would be as motivated. And I also worked a lot, so I didn't want to be like stuck. Like I didn't want to be like so consumed to be one of those people that gets so worked up on like working and helping my family that I didn't finish school. So in my mind, the best thing in my mind was to go away. And for me, going away meant going to Spelman. So during my quest of applying to Spelman, I came across a lot of HBCUs that I didn't really think of. I went down like the top HBCU list, looked at their requirements, looked at their website, kind of just got a feel of what it was, and I applied to a bunch. So for my college quest, I applied to CUNY, SUNY, Spelman, Clark Atlanta, North Carolina A&T, DSU, Morgan. I don't think I applied to Howard. Yeah, so I applied to all of those schools, and Lincoln was actually the last school I applied to. So I decided to apply to Lincoln because I had friends who had graduated before me who attended Lincoln. And one day I was just like in conversation with one of them, and they were like, why haven't you applied to Lincoln yet? Put it on your list. Like, you better apply. The application is free. Da, 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 da. So, yeah, so I applied to Lincoln, and I ended up getting into Lincoln and getting a full scholarship. So I was really, really excited about that. And in my mind, once I got the scholarship, I was like, huh, Spelman, who? So I didn't really care because financially, it was just the best decision that I could make in regards to the plans I had for myself, as well as helping out with my family. Like, it was just no other thought in my mind. Like, if you want to go away, you're going to Lincoln because you got a scholarship. So, um, so yeah, I decided to come to Lincoln because I got a scholarship covering tuition and fees. So it wasn't really like a full scholarship, but basically full, because at the time, room and board was like real cheap. So I didn't really like care too much in regards to room and board about having to pay for that. So I took out a loan to cover my room and board for the 4 years. And I also got a job as a resident advisor during my time at Lincoln, and we got reduced room and board, so we didn't have to pay the entire room and board. So that helped out a lot as well. When I got to Lincoln, okay, so I never visited Lincoln before I actually like enrolled in Lincoln, which I'm telling you now, if I did visit before, I probably wouldn't have decided to come. Reason being, like, when you first drive up to Lincoln, it's a lot of like farms and just roads, like it's just nothing around. So I was just like, I went to sleep during the entire ride. I woke up. I was really excited to go to Lincoln, even though I didn't visit Lincoln. I was really excited. And then when I went to sleep during the ride and I woke up and I was like, where are we? And I saw like the Lincoln sign. So anybody who has visited Lincoln, when you get off the exit, there's like a little Lincoln sign, says Lincoln University, and there's an arrow. And I was like, it was just surrounded by just cornfields, and I was just so shocked, and it was stinky, like, because of the mushroom farm. So I just was like, oh my God, where am I? It was like a huge culture shock for me. Going from such a big, busy city from New York to such a rural environment where Lincoln is located, I really didn't know what to expect. When I got to campus, everybody was really friendly. I really didn't have any issues in regards to like getting cleared from various departments. Like I had handled all of that before I came. So I didn't run into any of those issues during my time. Everybody was really friendly. Everybody was, like, I don't remember really anybody being like really nasty or anybody like not like helpful in any way. Although Lincoln is located in a very like rural environment, you step on campus and it feels really big until you know where everything is. So when I first got there, I really didn't know where everything was. Everybody was really helpful. We had transition week, so we had like certain things that we had to attend, placement tests that I had to take, different events throughout the week. So they had like a ball and like field days and stuff like that, that they wanted us to attend. I decided that I wanted to join the cheerleading team. So during the week, we were really busy trying out for the cheerleading team. Like literally, that was what we did. They had an interest meeting. We went to the interest meeting, and yeah, we tried out for the cheerleading team. The following week, when upperclassmen came back for welcome back week, we didn't get to go to anything. We were in cheerleading tryouts. So tryouts were the entire week. They taught us things that we had to then perform. We had to make up things. So yeah, during the first couple weeks, it was a little busy. And then it was really helpful though, because like the programs that they had and trying out for the cheerleading team, I was able to meet friends and kind of mix and mingle. I'm a very outgoing person, but if I don't know you, I'm just kind of like a little like taken back. So when I first got to Lincoln, I was really like in my bubble. I really just wanted my upperclassmen friends to come back to campus because I really didn't know anybody, and I felt like that would be my gateway to kind of getting to know people if I already knew people on campus, which I did. So I was just fiending for them to come back. So during that time, I really was just with my RA, and my RA at the time happened to be my boyfriend's cousin. So I was just with her, and then I ended up meeting more friends and things like that. And we got together and we had like a big group of friends. It was like 10 of us. We hung out all the time, did everything together. For the first like, I guess, month or so. Actually, it was kind of more than that. For like the beginning of like the first semester, we were all like together, and it was really cool to have that network of friends, because you really I didn't feel like I was alone. During that time, I always had my friends with me. We all lived on the first floor, on the second floor. So having people like always around, it was really easy. Like if I needed anything, I would just go to their rooms, whatever. I didn't go to any parties. I just didn't. I wasn't that type of person. So I used to go home a lot because, as I said, I had a boyfriend. So I used to go home a lot to visit him and to really see my family. I was homesick. I was miserable. Like, miserable. If you ask any of my friends, I was miserable. Like, I complained my entire first semester. Like, even after I joined different things, I complained and complained and complained. And it really wasn't the school per se. I honestly was just really homesick. And me and my boyfriend were really close. Like, we did everything together in high school and hung out every single day. So going from being with him every day to now, like, not being with him, I just was over it. And we began to fight the long distance thing. So that relationship quickly fizzled out. It got really bad. So it just left me kind of feeling really sad. And I'm really grateful to my friends. So shout out to my friends. They really motivated me. Like, I filled out applications to go back home to that CUNY school that I swore I hated and did not want to attend. I filled out the application to transfer. I really did not want to be at Lincoln anymore. And my friends really, like, pulled me out of that little grunt. Like, I was really miserable. Like, I remember one of my friends being like, what are you going home for? Like, and he was from New York. He was like, what are you going home for? Like, we're all here. So you're going home to just be miserable at home because we're all here. All of your other friends from back home, they're all the way at school. A lot of my other friends, they went to DSU. So I was just sitting there like, dang, you're right. Like, what am I about to do at home? Nothing. So that really helps. That was really like my light bulb. And then joining the cheerleading team, it really made me feel like a very family environment and having my friends really close by. So they really helped me get out of my homesick, little miserable attitude. And I'm really grateful for them. I tell them all the time, like, y'all are the reason why I stayed at Lincoln, because without y'all, honey, I would have left a long time ago. Like, been out and not have thought twice. So I'm really grateful for the relationships that I gained while my time at Lincoln, both with my friends, students, and peers, and also with the administrators and different teachers and staff. It was times during my Lincoln tenure where I was like really going through different things. And it really, like, college is your time where you're like molding into an adult. You're going to be having so many different pressures on you, different emotions, and having people around you that know what you're going through or have gone what you're going through, to really like mentor you or to give you even little nitbits of advice is really helpful. And having people around you that you look up to. Certain times there's people such as like different administrators who have gone to the school, who have been in your shoes, who have accomplished so much that you really just look up to them. You're like, wow, that's what I want to be. Like, when I get this degree, I want to be that established. Like, I want to do this, I want to do that. They really opened my mind up to different possibilities that I never ever imagined for myself. In my mind, when I came to Lincoln, my whole thing was just get a degree and get a job. I really didn't have any aspirations as far as like joining a Greek organization or even regular organizations. Like, I really didn't know anything about like college life itself. I didn't know. I just thought people partied, to be completely honest. I didn't know about different clubs, different organizations. I didn't know anything about Greek life. During my time in high school, I had one teacher who was an AKA and one teacher who was a Delta. They didn't tell us anything about their organizations. I just knew that they existed. I didn't know what they were. I didn't know what they were about. I didn't know anything. So college definitely educated me on like not only Greek organizations, but regular organizations as well, and how impactful they have been in the communities that they have come from, that the students have come from, as well as the Lincoln community, and seeing how successful that they have been. So yeah, that was really helpful. During my time at Lincoln, I majored in health science and psychology. My major was health science, my minor was psychology. coming in, I also didn't really know what I wanted to do. I know that I wanted to be in the healthcare field, but I really didn't have like a really pinpoint thing of what I wanted to do. And so my idea of what I wanted my career to be definitely changed throughout my time at Lincoln. I thought I wanted to be a pediatric physical therapist. That is still a really big goal of mine. I volunteered, did a lot of community service and volunteer hours within the PT field, and I really, really enjoyed it. Helping people gain their mobility back, and just hearing their stories and the things that they went through, and being able to really put a smile on their face and help them to conquer different goals that they have. That for me was really rewarding, and I really enjoyed it. And I really, really love working with the kids, because they don't complain. They just really, they're so like ready to go and energized, that I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, so for extracurriculars, I was a cheerleader all 4 years. Shout outs to the Fifis. Follow them on Instagram. Hey Fifis. I was a cheerleader all 4 years. I loved it. Of course, there were times where I hated it, because you hate every sport that you do. But again, they were really the reason why I stayed at Lincoln. I gained some of my best friends through cheerleading. So shout outs to y'all. Y'all know who y'all are. And they were really like my family away from home. Anything that I went through, anything, whether I had a bad day or a good day, anything that I attempted to accomplish during my time at Lincoln, they were always very, very supportive. From the coaches all the way down to the freshmen who just came, everybody was just very, very, very supportive. We pushed each other inside and outside of practice. So whether it be with class, relationships, like we were all in everybody's business, period. And we really pushed each other to really kind of be the best people that we could be, and holding each other accountable. And I really appreciated that throughout my time at Lincoln. It was times where, I messed up. And having people around me to kind of really keep me in check was really helpful. Yeah, so I also joined other organizations, creative organizations. Shout outs to Well Done, members of Well Done. We helped out for a little while with Varsity League. I was in Young Kings. Shout outs to QTNS. Queens Taking a Stand. Yeah, I did a whole lot. I was on the class board. And I kind of, during my senior year, took over the class board as the president, just because people were not fulfilling their roles. So I had to step in, because I really wanted our class to have an experience. I didn't want it to be one of those things where like people just didn't care. We didn't have a senior week, we didn't have a senior trip. I really wanted us to have something. A yearbook, I really wanted us to have something. So I really tried my best to kind of step up and do what I could. I was in about 12 different organizations during my time at Lincoln. NCNW. I also served as Miss Omega Psi Phi, the beta chapter of Omega Psi Phi. And that was really one of my favorite things that I did at Lincoln. So shout outs to the beta chapter. And the reason being is because I had never done a pageant before. So it really was an opportunity for me to step outside of my comfort zone. I didn't know what my talent was going to be. I didn't know how well I was going to speak. I was just like, how am I going to get my New York accent out? Like, what am I going to do? And I really didn't want to lose. So if I was going to do it, I wanted to make sure that I did my absolute best at it. I wanted to win. And even if I didn't win, I wanted to really perform really well and say that I put my all onto the stage. So I ended up winning. So shout outs to the beta chapter. Shout outs to my court. Shout outs to Tamia. Love you guys. And yeah, I also, during my time, I was a resident advisor. So for you guys who don't know, a resident advisor is a person who is a student who works in the dorms. We kind of help to facilitate, make sure the dorms are flowing as they should be, making sure that, helping with any like lockouts, doing check-ins, move-out days, and different things throughout the school year. We put on programs and things like that. Yeah, being an RA was one of the most hectic jobs that I've ever had. Because technically you're literally always on call. Like if there's an emergency, you're expected to show up. You're expected to kind of help out where you can. But being an RA for me was kind of stressful because I was a person that was very like dependable. So I felt like I got called to do for anything, like anything. Like they would call me, they would call my best friend. Like we were always getting called for stuff. So I just was like, people just also didn't listen. So I also spent a lot of time yelling at people. And y'all know I used to yell, and I don't care because I used to get yelled at. Because these people, like, people were in the hallway, I would get yelled at. Why is people in the hallway? So, yeah, being a resident advisor was a really stressful job. But I enjoyed it. I loved having my own suite, my own room, and not having to really share my space with other people that I didn't know. So, yeah, I asked a few people on my Instagram what was their favorite HBCU experience and what was their least favorite HBCU experience. So I'm really curious to see their answers. And it's so funny because it's like so often that everybody has the same complaints. You'll see a lot of times when you go to different schools, from school to school, everybody has the same complaints. The bursar doesn't answer the phone. The registrar doesn't, they won't change my grade. Like housing is an issue. So literally every single HBCU has the same complaints. One thing I really found interesting about the responses that I got was that people really, a lot of people just enjoyed meeting people. And I think I really appreciated that about Lincoln. I felt like Lincoln was kind of like a melting pot. There was a lot of people from New York, a lot of people from DC, a lot of people from Philly, and I had never at that point really been outside of like New York and going down south to visit like family and stuff like that. So I had never experienced DC. I had never experienced Philly. I had a roommate from Detroit. I had never been to Detroit. So meeting people from different cities was real interesting. Everybody has like their different lingos, different sayings. And so it was like weird in a sense, like, what are you saying? What are you trying to say? What is that? But it's funny and it's fun to kind of get to know people and of different, you know, their different dance moves. I actually didn't know Jersey had their own like dance style. So I came to Lincoln. So does DC. So does New York. I kind of just knew what I knew. So yeah, it was really fun at Lincoln to like really get to know other people from different cities. All of my best friends happen to be all from different cities. So yeah, it was really, really fun seeing how people like kind of mesh together. Although I feel like at Lincoln specifically, like New York people hung out with New York people. Jersey people hung out with Jersey people. DC people hung out with DC people, and that's just really because you hang out with people who you have things in common with. But I feel like inside those groups, people also hung out with different groups. So there's people from New York who didn't always hang out with people from New York. I'm from New York. I hung out with people from Philly, Delaware, and DC. And I feel the same goes for a lot of the different people. We kind of got to know different cities, different cultures, different things. So it was really a lot of fun. You'll see a lot of it like in different parties and forums and just how people think, move, dance is really fun. Yeah, I didn't really go to parties when I first got to Lincoln. So having my friends pull me out of that real negative attitude and really like make me go, like they made me go out. They made me go out. It really helped me. I feel like if you go away to school, you'll never really enjoy yourself unless you go to different events. And when I got there, I didn't go to different events, so I didn't enjoy myself. When I started going to different events, that's when I really started enjoying my experience. I started joining organizations. I started joining different clubs. I started meeting new people. And that's when I loved my HBCU. So I got really involved on campus. I was in everything. I was in admission student ambassador program with the admissions team. I did a lot of tours and info sessions. I went to parties, I went to forums, I joined a lot of organizations. So my advice to anybody who's interested in going to any HBCU, especially Lincoln, make sure you take advantage of your experience. You want to really make sure that you're having fun. Don't be one of those people all locked up in your room. You will look back and you will regret it. You don't want to be those people who didn't take advantage of your experience. If there's something that you really just don't like, you don't like parties, cool, whatever. But I still suggest that you at least go to one, just to say you went. Just to say you know what it was like. You never know what you don't know. So I appreciate my HBCU for not only the social experience that it gave me, but also the educational experience. Having teachers who were very hands-on and very knowledgeable in their fields was extremely helpful. They made Lincoln feel like no man left behind type of atmosphere. So any area that I may have felt like I struggled in, there was people available to really help me out. And my teachers always, even though they had office hours, they always really had an open door policy. I was able to come in and ask them a question at any time, any place. They will always answer. Some of my teachers, they would share their cell phone numbers, they would share their emails. They were always answering, always available. So I really appreciated having administrators and teachers who were really cared. You don't really get that atmosphere at a lot of places. So having people around you who really cared about you was really, really helpful. There wasn't a moment where I felt like, oh, if I miss class, they ain't gonna notice. Like, they're gonna notice. they're gonna ask, are you okay? Where were you? Why weren't you in my class? So even though it may be a little annoying if you are one of those people who like to skip class, it's really coming from a loving place. They really want to make sure that their students really succeed. And for me, it really prepared me when it was time to leave. So when I graduated from Lincoln, I did not go back home. I left Lincoln and I got a job in Delaware, and I immediately started working and living in Delaware. And I haven't left yet. I'm still here. And I started grad school at a PWI, which is a complete opposite experience. For me, I don't know if it's because I'm a graduate student or because I go to a PWI that my experience has been so completely opposite. I take a lot of my classes online as well, so I'm not really actively like on the campus. So for me, I don't really have teachers who are like literally at all. They just respond to emails, barely respond to that. It takes them a few days to get back to you if you have a question or anything like that. The teachers aren't as invested into their students as the experience I have previously gotten at Lincoln. As well as the social aspect, it's not there. I've never actually been to one social event for my graduate school. So it's really just about graduating for me, getting through my classes and graduating. It's sad to say I don't think I took very much from my graduate experience. I don't really think I took anything besides what I learned in class from that experience. And I can really honestly say going to Lincoln was the best decision that I've ever made in my life. It has helped me in my adulthood. It has helped me in my career. It has helped me post-graduation. It has helped me so much, and I owe a lot of the person that I am today to Lincoln University and the people that I've met at Lincoln and the help that they've given me at Lincoln. When I left Lincoln, you'll meet a Lincoln alum anywhere you go. So having that support wherever you go is also very helpful. So shout outs to all of my Lincoln students, all of my Lincoln staff, all of my Lincoln administrators, all of my Lincoln alum, my classmates. You guys really don't know how much that you guys touch people every single day. Right now, I do now work at Lincoln. Giving back to my alma mater is something that I really enjoy doing. I meet prospective students all of the time. Some students they don't know much about Lincoln. Some students, they're like, this is my dream school, like I have to go. And it's really, I really love being that bridge to help bring students into Lincoln and to help them throughout their little college search. So don't forget that you are a representation of the university, that you never know who you might meet. You never know what your experience may be while you're at Lincoln. For the upperclassmen, don't forget that you have underclassmen, freshmen who may be looking up to you. For me, I really, really looked up to the upperclassmen who were there. When I came on campus, there was nothing but leaders. Every organization, SGA, every Greek organization, every regular organization on campus, every administrator, they were leaders. Like, they were people that you wanted to look up to. They were people who were stomping down goals every single day, who would carry themselves with so much grace. So that's something that I literally was like, oh my God, I gotta join this. Oh my God, I wanna do this. Oh my God, I was wide open to just so many endless possibilities. And that encouragement that they gave me is something that I hope to give to other people. So thank you guys for listening to my Lincoln experience, why I chose Lincoln, why I stayed at Lincoln, and why I am now an admissions counselor for Lincoln. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys have any comments, please feel free to comment below. I really want to know about your experience, some of your favorite things that you've gotten from Lincoln, some of your least favorite things that you've gotten from Lincoln, and some things that you really want to share. So make sure you like, subscribe, and always catch the beat. Shout out to all my Lincolnites.